Joining us now, a man who is appearing on behalf of State Farm to discuss his involvement with the brand and also his appearance in the new spot ballet class that puts a fun spin on bundling, taking creative inspiration from his background in dance. He is the great Aidan Hutchinson. Aidan, welcome back. How are you, pal?
Great words, Mike. Thank you, man.
So, tell me more about your extensive background in dance and at what point I'm envisioning a young Aidan Hutchinson standing at a crossroads in life. Is it dance or is it football?
No, I mean, you're not too far off. When I was in about fourth grade, I was just following my sisters, and my mom kind of convinced me to try a class of dance, but it was more like the hip hop bands. There was a bunch of dudes at this dance studio, and I got into it. I ended up loving it, and yeah, I was just popping and locking my way for about 3 years of dance, and I think it gave me a nice little spin move that I use now a lot, and I think gave me a nice center of balance. And then in seventh grade, I hung up I hung up the hip hop shoes and started pursuing my career in football.
I was going to take you into that next direction, though. Being athletic in that regard, being able to move your body and keep your balance, that has to help with all the things you're trying to do on a football field when the goal is to not get knocked to the ground.
No, you're right. You're right. And I think especially during those very formative years growing up, I think it was very instrumental in kind of the foundation of my body and how I operate now, So I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that my mom convinced me to do it.
Was there a time in your life when you went through just like a really quick growth spurt? Because I think I knew a kid, like all of a sudden we woke up one day and he was 7 inches taller, and it was like a newborn giraffe trying to walk around. Like, did you ever have something like that where it's just like, whoa, I got to get used to this new body?
Oh yeah, that pretty much describes my entire high school career right there. My knees, I had to ice my knees every day because they hurt so bad from growing so fast. And and then I finally started getting a little less gumpy my senior year, and then by college I started growing into it more. So yeah, I've definitely been more of a late bloomer my whole life.
Into your third year now, how do you feel rolling out of bed the day after a night game?
Um, I do take care of my body a lot. However, after a game like last night, you definitely question some things. Sometimes you question why you play football and why you do this to yourself. But I rolled out of bed this morning, had some ibuprofen last night, and I was feeling like a new man.
You had a sack in each of the first three games, none last night. Are you noticing more attention, or is it just, and it's got to be frustrating as a pass rusher, you get close and the guy's gone, and you just miss a sack, and the number seems like it's something that's pumped up in part by just being in the right place at the right time. But are you noticing more attention, especially after you had that 4.5 sack game in week two?
For sure, for sure. I mean, even off the rip in that game last night, the first third down, the DK Metcalf was lined up like pretty wide, and he came in and chipped me. And I've never seen anyone chip with the receivers when I was watching film in those first three games, and I was like, okay, here we go. I kind of got to change my mentality a little bit. You got to have your eyes on a swivel. And no, but I think last night it was an interesting game. And they threw the ball 60 times, a lot of just quicks, ball out, ball out, ball out. So it was a weird game, but it's one of those things where you're right. Sacks are a lot of the times just being at the right place at the right time, and you could lose all your rushes one game, but win the right one and get a sack and call it a day and walk off with hopefully a win and a smile on your face.
There's a great video you need to see involving a couple of your division rivals from before you were born, Vikings, Packers. The Vikings tried to have Chris Carter, and it wasn't necessarily a chip. It was just flat out block Reggie White. Find that video and watch what happens. It usually doesn't end well for the receiver. DK can handle himself. It usually doesn't end well for the receiver. I talked to Baker Mayfield after your 4.5 sack game, and I asked, like, was there any chirping? Does he say anything when he sacks you? He said you didn't say anything, so he didn't say anything back. Did you hold back with Baker because he's the kind of guy that if you get him riled up, you may have trouble?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not the biggest talker on the field. I'm so locked in, and I don't even care who I'm going against, who I'm hitting. I got a one track mind, you know. And but Baker, I also know that he's one of those guys that likes to talk a little crap, and he gets fired up. And um, no, I mean, for the most part, though, I'm pretty quiet and pretty just one track mind.
Last night's game, a lot of points scored by both teams. You're going into the bye week. What do you take away from it? Because it's got to be something that, as a defensive player, you see that score and you think, wait, this isn't good enough. We gave up too many points. What does the defense need to do to prevent those kinds of games?
Yeah, I thought we played great in the first half. I think we only let up seven and played some great situational defense at the end of that half. And then third quarter, we came out and just weren't executing well enough, and sometimes it happens like that. But I think the difference is that fourth quarter we finished. We got a turnover on downs in the second to last series, and the last series we got the interception to close the game out. So sometimes games are like that in the NFL, and I'm happy our offense scored so much. So it was good.
You've got your bye week 5, and I know you can't control the schedule, but do you wish it was a little later? Is this the right time? Would you rather be too early than too late? How do you feel about having a week off right now?
I think the one silver lining about this whole thing is that it came on a Monday night game. And because usually Monday night game, you have a shorter day's prep for the Sunday game that you have the next week. So that is the one silver lining that I'm looking at and I'm embracing. But besides that, it's not ideal.
What do you think of the uniforms you guys had last night?
Let me ask you this. What do you think of the uniforms?
See, I'm old, okay? I've got to
Oh,
get off
come
my lawn
on.
mentality. I'm
Come
a fan
on.
of the traditional uniforms. I'd like to
Oh,
see you
here it
guys go
is.
back to the 70s uniforms. I like it when they peel off the logo altogether and it's just silver helmet with the blue shirt and the big silver block numbers. I like the traditional uniform. So I see that. I call it the Nikeification of the NFL. And I know it's a uniform that you guys wore in the past, but I feel like Nike's always saying we want more. I can't keep the team straight, Aidan. I need one uniform per team or I get confused. You got to bear with me.
Mike, you're old, man. That's no fun, dude. Come on. I mean, I freaking love them. Let's spice life up a little bit.
Speaking of spicing life up, trick play last night. How long had you seen that one on the practice field, the throw from Amon-Ra St. Brown to Jared Goff?
I don't think I don't think I've ever seen that, if I'm being quite honest with you. I mean, maybe I did see it once in practice, but it was I couldn't even believe they called that right there. I think it was an amazing play call. Right when it happened, we're all sitting there on the bench like, you've got to be kidding me. Like Jared Goff just caught a football and ran it in the end zone. It's crazy.
I remember J.J. Watt playing a little tight end during his prime. Do you have any interest in getting into one of those packages and maybe catching a pass, scoring a touchdown? It's not unheard of for a defensive player to do it.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to our OC Ben Johnson last year about it, and he said he had something cooking. And so maybe this year it's really a goal line situation. I used to play tight end in high school. I got some of the best hands on the team. That's what I tell him. This is my pitch, really. So, um, yeah. I mean, I'm always open to it. You know that.
Well, here's what I envision. Your next game back is in Dallas against the Cowboys. So I want to see you come in and report as eligible in a very creative way. Okay, will you do that?
I love that. Oh, I'm sure everybody will eat that up too.
All right. Hey, tell us what you have going on with State Farm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so I collab with State Farm, and they are all about putting a spotlight on unexpected bundling, like home and auto. And it's a perfect collab because I'm a guy who I bundle dance with football. I'll go out there, I'll hit a spin move, and I'll get a sack, and then I'll dance the night away until I gotta run on the sideline, and then the offense goes out in the field. But it's a match made in heaven. Just a couple of me and State Farm just bundling. They bundle home and auto. I bundle football and dance. Right.
Works for me. Aidan, I appreciate your time. I'll let you get on to the next one. I know it's a busy day for you. Enjoy the bye week and get ready. I don't want this against, I want something. I know you got to do that at some point when you report against the Cowboys, but I want something that's going to be memorable, but that also might fool the official just enough. So, you don't really know what's going on the defensive side of the ball. All right, buddy. Good luck. And we hope to talk to you again soon.
I'm going to send Ben Johnson this clip. All right.
We got it. All right. Thank you, pal.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Good luck. Take care. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.